guys, welcome back to my channel. It's another installment of Booklist Thursday, which is the video where we go through a list of books and see how many of the books I've read, how many of the books you've read, and I guess we compare notes, or we just motivate ourselves to read more. Read more of the books that we say we want to read. So my husband gifted me a subscription to Bookmarks magazine, which I think is a really great magazine. I first saw this in the bookstore, and I think he bought me a copy in the bookstore the first time I saw it. And one year for Christmas, he gave me a subscription, and every year he has renewed the subscription, and I love it. Bookmarks magazine comes, I think, every 2 months. It just never seems like it comes often enough. But I love that most of the installments, most of the issues, they have a section called Year in Books, where they go through a year and talk about some of the notable books that were published that year. And I like that. I've never gone through a list and seen more than just a few of the books that I've read, but it always brings certain titles to mind, so that's what I want to do here. So in this installment, this issue is from October 2018. That was right before I got married, so yeah, I've been getting bookmarks for a while now. So the year that's being covered in this edition of Bookmarks is 1992, which is 30 years ago, which is why I selected it. I was looking at some old pictures that I have. I have a box of photos. I should have brought props, right? I have this box of photos that is just kind of in a corner. And as we're trying to clean up, I'm still trying to clean up. My shelves are always a mess. They're always going to be a mess until this house is clean. Probably the last thing to be really cleaned up is going to be the bookshelves, even though I've been working on it since the beginning. But story time. I found this box of photos, and I was looking at pictures from my teenage years. There are some pictures from a long time ago. A lot of the pictures are from about 20 years ago when I came to the United States. And I found these pictures of my parents about 20 something years ago, and man, how young they look. I think my parents in those photos are probably around the age I am right now. And it's just amazing to see. And it brought to mind this song I used to sing when I was not 30. I was a teenager. And it's this song by Kenny Rogers called Life Was So Much Easier 30 years ago. I think it's 30 years ago. And so it made me reflect on that. I can't play it in YouTube, but do I dare sing? Life was so much easier 20 years ago. Oh, it's 20. Okay. Scratch that. So 20 years ago, let's do that list instead. And the bookmarks that has the list for 20 years ago, 2002, that was published in the November-December 2018 installment of Bookmarks. So here are the books that were notable in 2002. Notable fiction. The book that won the Pulitzer Prize was Empire Falls by Richard Russo, which I have read. It's one of the first novels that I read when I came to the United States. And funny story about this book cover. So I bought this book in a library sale. You could see I got it for $1. And this was downtown Manhattan. I just started going to school, and I was walking through the neighborhood like I would on my breaks from school, and I found this library sale, and I bought this book. I saw this book. I'd never heard of it at the time, didn't know anything about it. And so this must have been like a new release at the time, but I hadn't heard about it. And I picked it up. So I just assumed that this cover, this coffee ring here on the cover, I thought it was specific to my book. I thought this book was used. Someone had put their coffee on it and marked it and maybe didn't want the book anymore, and so they'd let it go. So I just thought that this was a coffee stain on my book. We went to my mother-in-law's house and I saw a copy of the book there, and I was like, when did my book get over here? Because it has the coffee stain on it. In all the years that I have been seeing this book, I have never seen a brand new cover. I'd never seen a copy of the book that wasn't mine. So I didn't realize that the coffee ring was part of the book cover, guys. So yeah, the scene is taking place in a coffee shop or a diner, and so that coffee ring is part of the design of the cover. I had no idea. So yeah, Empire Falls by Richard Russo. Just a short aside, funny story, but I have read it. The book that won the National Book Award in 2002 was 3 Junes by Julia Glass. I have not read. But Life of Pi, Jan Martel, won the Booker Prize in 2002. I have read. Other awards in 2002, the Edgar Award went to Silent Joe by T. Jefferson Parker. I haven't read. Hugo and Nebula Awards went to American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I haven't read. Newbery Medal, A Single Shard by Linda Sue Park. I have not read. Other books that were bestsellers in 2002 that you may know. November 10, 2002. Q is for Quarry came out by Sue Grafton. I haven't read any of her Alphabet series books. The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebald. I have not read, but it's on my list someday. Michael Connelly published Chasing the Dime in 2002. I haven't read. Nights in Rodanthe by Nicholas Sparks. I have not read. Watched the movie, I think, but I haven't read the book. Robert Ludlum published The Janssen Directive. I haven't read. The Crush by Sandra Brown. That's a no for me. From a Buick 8 by Stephen King. Another no for me. The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. I haven't read. I want to read more from Donna Tartt. I'm going to get to her someday. Jonathan Kellerman published a murder book. I haven't read. And Blessings by Anna Quindlen. I haven't read. Anna Quindlen is an author that I want to read more of her books. I have read just a few things, and I have enjoyed almost everything that I have read from her. Some of my buddy read, two of the people that I buddy read with, we have a little group where we chat about books sometimes. And I think Anna Quindlen was an essayist, and we were talking about her essays. Columbus, he said that he enjoyed her reading her essays, but he'd never read her novels. And I've read a couple of her novels, but never read her essays. So we both want to, exchange where that is concerned. Other notables: The Emperor of Ocean Park by Stephen L. Carter. I haven't read. Prey by Michael Crichton. No. You Shall Know Our Velocity by Dave Eggers. No. I want to read some things from Dave Eggers too. I have 2 books. I think I own 2 books from him that I want to read. Zaytoon and A Heartbreaking Work of a Staggering Genius. Staggering Work of a Heartbreaking Genius. I don't know. You know that title. I want to read it, but I haven't yet. The Crimson Petal and the White by Michael Faber. I have not read. The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd is on my list. I think it's on my list to read this year. I need to revisit that list and start making progress on that 2022 TBR, but I haven't yet read the book. Family Matters by Rohinton Mistry. That's another author that I want to read from. I like the name, Rohinton Mistry, but I haven't read any of the books yet. Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, another author I want to get into, man. 20 years these books have been around. I haven't, no. I want to read some Murakami someday, soon. July by Tim O'Brien. I haven't yet read, but I want to. No, July is not on my radar, but I want to read some things from Tim O'Brien. The Things They Carried, I think, is probably his most notable work, and it's on my list, but haven't gotten to it yet. Anne Packer wrote The Dive from Clausen's Pair. That was published in 2002, I think, and no, I haven't heard of that book. Snow by Orhan Pamuk. That's a Nobel Prize winning author. Snow, I think, is a book I own. I've been thinking about reading for a while. Haven't gotten to it. I was going to pick it up to show it to you, but I don't know where I put it. It may be in that box of books that I've been trying to unhaul from my shelves. Like, I haven't read these in so long. Maybe I'm never going to read them, but I don't know. Doris, Doris used to put her books on in a tower and then get to them eventually. I can't have towers of books around here just because, you know, I don't want my kid pulling them down. But yeah, maybe it would be good to start sorting my shelves in read and unread, so I know exactly which books I need to tackle. That's coming. That's coming soon to a bookshelf near you. Maybe not mine. Unless by Carol Shields, I haven't read. The Autograph Man by Zadie Smith, I haven't read. I do want to read all of Zadie Smith's books. We just haven't gotten there yet. William Trevor wrote The Story of Lucy Galt. I haven't read. William Trevor sounds like an author that Brian from Bookish has recommended, and I haven't read anything by him yet. And Sarah Waters, another author that I'd like to read some things from. Sarah Waters published Fingersmith in 2002. I haven't gotten to. How about some nonfiction? The Pulitzer Prize winner for nonfiction in 2002 was Diane McWhorter's Carry Me Home, Birmingham, Alabama, The Climactic Battle of the Civil Rights Revolution. I have not read that. I've never even heard that title. But the National Book Award winner for nonfiction, this book actually came up in a Jeopardy clue a few nights ago, was Master of the Senate, The Years of Lyndon Johnson by Robert A. Caro. Robert Caro published The Power Broker, which my husband read a few years ago, and we have a copy somewhere here. You may even see it on this. It's somewhere here. I'm not sure. It's somewhere on that shelf, right over there. That's my husband's section. So that's the only book I knew from Robert Caro that was well known. But the Jeopardy clue was Robert Caro's book about this person, and I was like, Robert Moses, because I was like, okay, it had to be Moses. It wasn't. It was Lyndon Johnson. Yeah, even in the bookish clues on Jeopardy, I don't do well sometimes. But yeah, I haven't read the book, clearly. Other books that were New York Times bestsellers in 2002, Leadership by Rudy Giuliani. No. My Losing Season, a memoir by Pat Conroy. No. Live from New York, the complete uncensored history of Saturday Night Live as told by its stars, writers, and guests by Tom Shales and James Andrew Miller. No. Let's Roll, Ordinary People, Extraordinary Courage by Lisa Beamer with Ken Abraham. No. I would like to read that book someday. I think I needed some distance after September 11th, 2001 in order to read books about 9/11, the 9/11 tragedy. But it's been 20 years. I think I could read it now. I haven't read it though. Sandy Koufax, A Lefty's Legacy by Jane Levy. No. Longitudes and Attitudes, The World in the Age of Terrorism by Thomas L. Friedman. I have not read this book. I did read his book, The World is Flat, which I highly recommend. Stupid White Men and Other Sorry Excuses for the State of the Nation by Michael Moore. I have not read. Let Freedom Ring, Winning the War of Liberty Over Liberalism by Sean Hannity. No. Abraham, A Journey to the Heart of Three Fates by Bruce Feiler. No. The Blank Slate, by The Modern Denial of Human Nature by Steven Pinker. No. Three other books. How to Be Alone, Essays by Jonathan Franzen. I have not read. I finally read my first Jonathan Franzen book last year or was it earlier this year for BookTube Prize. Crossroads, this novel, which I really, really enjoyed, but I haven't read anything else by that author. Michael J. Fox's memoir, Lucky Man, was also published in 2002. I haven't read. And Rick Atkinson wrote a book called An Army at Dawn, The War in North Africa, 1942 to 1943, which I haven't read. So yeah, those are some books from 2002, 20 years ago. Life was so much easier 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I put some of these books on my TBR, or it seems like I did, and I still haven't read them. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below how many of these books you've read. If there are some books lingering on your TBR for about 20 years, you know, it might be time to start revisiting them so we can read them together, guys. But for the purpose of this video, let's just say we've read a lot of books, and let's keep encouraging each other to keep reading, because that's why we're here. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being here for the ramble as we revisit memory lane and the books that we have collected in our mind and on our TBR as we go down memory lane. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Give this a big thumbs up if you liked it, and let's chat in the comments. Would love to know how many of these you've read. And yeah, until we come back for another video, happy Booklist Thursday, happy reading, bye.